Welcome to the show of all things movie and TV. It is Let's Be Real, and today we are playing Who Will Win, What Could Win, and What Should Win. And this is for the 2024 Oscars. I'm James, that's Nan, and we're coming to you from Australia and New Zealand. And so we are probably just going to jump right into things. But before we do, we want to hear from you guys. Whatever it is, just jump into our DMs, whether questions, topics, ideas for what we can do through, these video podcasts that we're doing on YouTube or on anything else. Just reach out to us and who knows, we might discuss it on the show. We appreciate everyone joining us today. So without further ado, we are just going to get straight into it. And so for who will win, what could win, and what should win, it's pretty self-explanatory. We are going to say for our Oscar predictions, what will win. And we're going to say, and that's just based on, who's winning what and all those kind of trends. Then we're going to be talking about who could win. That's kind of like, a dark horse, a surprise upset, all that kind of stuff. And then finally, it's what should win. And that's just basically our personal preference on what we think should be taking home that final award at the end of the day. So, yeah, we're just going to jump straight into things here. And, we're going to start with the kind of lightweight categories first, and then we're going to move to the heavyweight ones, those major categories. So we'll start with Best Documentary Short. So the nominees are The ABCs of Book Banning, The Barber of Little Rock, Island in Between, The Last Repair Shop, Nine and WIPO. And so, yeah, Nan, briefly, what's your will win, could win, and should win?
Will win would probably be the ABCs of Book Banning, I reckon. Mm-hmm. What could win is The Last Repair Shop, and what should win? Should win.
What's your vote?
Would probably be the ABCs of Book Banning.
Yeah, I agree with you on what will win. I think it was the ABCs of Book Banning, but Nine and WIPO, I think that could be a little surprise upset there. But it seems pretty much locked and loaded that the ABCs of Book Banning is going to be the one. In terms of what should win, the ABCs of Book Banning, I think that one should win. I mean, it goes without saying that me and you, we don't have access to see everything here, so we are a little bit biased towards the ones we have actually seen. Yeah. It's just how Oscars work, and especially being in Australia and New Zealand, we get all this kind of stuff really late. So
even later for me.
Just a disclaimer. Yeah, even later for Nate. Yeah, but a little disclaimer to you guys: we haven't seen everything here, but I think we've seen pretty much everything when it comes to the live action film stuff.
Yeah.
The next one we got is Best Animated Short. So the nominees are Letter to a Pig, 95 Senses, Our Uniform, Pachyderm, War is Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko. So, Nan, will win, could win, should win.
What I think will win is Letter to a Pig. And what could win is War is Over, inspired by music of John and Yoko. And what I think should win would be Letter to a Pig.
Letter to a Pig, eh? Yeah, for that one. I haven't actually seen that one. Okay, so for mine, I'm torn. I'll say will win, I think, is War is Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko. And then, I don't know, my dark horse candidate here, 95 Senses, I think could win. I think it could be a sneaky pick here. And that's a little bit of bias, I think, because, I'm going should win for that one there as well. That is my pick. And then I think we're on to the last true lightweight one here, and that's Best Live Action Short. So we have The After, Invincible, Night of Fortune, Red, White, and Blue, and The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. Nay, what are your picks?
What will win and should win, I'm going to bunch these up together, is The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. I mean, it's Wes Anderson, you can't really go wrong with him. When it comes to everything, like, the production and stuff, and I think this is a really good short for him. He managed to nail the key aspects. What could win, however, would probably be Red, White, and Blue. I think that could be a sneaky little dark horse there.
Yeah, I'm actually all my picks are the exact same as yours. From this one, I've only seen The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, and it was Wes Anderson's best project of last year. It's not Asteroid City.
Better than his full feature. Imagine that.
Yeah. But no, it was really good. The only thing that I think Red, White, and Blue as well could win, and I think it has. I'm not going to say a full chance, but it has somewhat of a. It's piqued my interest as being a legitimate contender here, just because I know that the Academy doesn't always like to reward quite renowned directors in the live action short. We've seen that happen time and time again in this category, but I don't know. Maybe Wes Anderson can break the odds here because I think he's definitely the clear front runner for the category. Yeah. Okay. We'll move on to Best Original Score. So the nominees are American Fiction, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. Nan, what will win, what could win, and what should win?
Could and should. Gonna bunch them up together again. Is Oppenheimer. That score is stupidly fantastic. Ludwig Göransson is... I think he is like the next, how we always had Christopher Nolan and Hans Zimmer. I think Nolan has found his Hans Zimmer replacement. The work he did on Tenet and now on this is fantastic. It's just so gripping. The final score, I believe it's titled Destroyer of Worlds, the one that plays in the very last scene. That scene just sticks with you for the whole, even after the movie. And then you also have key stuff like, what's it called? I forgot it.
Can you hear the music?
That's one. Can you hear the music? Which is by far probably the best written piece musically for that film. What could win for me would be Poor Things. The score in that is absolutely fantastic. It is not as overwhelming as Oppenheimer, but it's a lot more subtle. It's a lot more quirky, and I think it could be the one to upset.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have the same ones as you, but for what will win, I think it's Oppenheimer. It's destroyed most in its path. I think there's some other ones here and there, but I think Oppenheimer is the one that is clearly the front runner, and it's the start of the Oppenheimer sweep. And what could win? Killers of the Flower Moon. And I'm gonna say that it's because Robbie Robertson, who composed the score, sadly passed away. And I believe this is his final thing. And I think he's a respected legend in the composing world. So it's really the Academy's last chance to kind of honor him. But I think what Ludwig's done with Oppenheimer is going to get him over the edge with this. As for what should win, now if Spider-Verse was nominated, I would have a lot more trouble kind of deciding it. But Oppenheimer is mine as well. There's just something when Nolan collabs with any composer, whether it's Ludwig or Hans, it just is pure magic. Just seems to come out, and it hits again with Oppenheimer. And Oppenheimer's not a movie that you don't think it would earn kind of one of those scores that are just so impactful. But yeah, Nolan knows the power of music and film and stuff like that. So yeah, my pick's Oppenheimer all the way for this category. All right, I'm going to go to a Best Original Song. So the nominees are What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish and Phineas, and that was in Barbie. I'm Just Ken, Mark Ronson and Andrew Wyatt for Barbie. The Fire Inside, Diane Warren for Flamin' Hot. It Never Went Away by John Basti and American Symphony. And Wazi Z, A Song for My People. Sorry if I mispronounced that. And that would be awarded to the Osage Tribal Singers, and that is from Killers of the Flower Moon. So Nan, what will win, what could win, and what should win?
I think all three of those categories can be summed up in the two Barbie films. I think they have those locked. Either one of them could win, really. What I think will probably win would be What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish. For that one, it took out the Globe, so I think it's already got a good foot ahead. And then obviously the could win would be I'm Just Ken. What should win, I'm just going purely for meme purposes, is I'm Just Ken. Because that would just be absolutely hilarious seeing Ryan Gosling perform this film at the Oscars and then him winning the Oscar for this would just be awesome.
Yeah, no. For me, What Will Win, What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish and Phineas, of course. I'm pretty strong in my opinion that it will win, and that I'm Just Ken doesn't have much of a it's not going to play much of a challenge towards that. But for could win, it is going to be I'm Just Ken. If anyone's going to do the upset, it is going to be that. I just think What Was I Made For is just, it's far more pivotal to the movie of Barbie, and it just has like a entire connection to the thematics around that movie. So I think that's the clear cut favorite as well. And what should win? I want to say I'm Just Ken for the meme purposes, but if I am trying to be as objective as possible, in my opinion, it probably is What Was I Made For. It just hits it there, like that kind of peak emotional climactic part of the film, and it just has such a resonance to so much people. So I think that one probably should win. But if I'm Just Ken won, that would be hilarious. I'm already getting Ryan Gosling performing it live at the Oscars, so I've gotten everything I need from that song. I don't want to hear that song ever again after the Oscars.
Oh, you will?
That is a good way to go. No. Unless it's for Barbie too. No. All right. Best production design. So the nominees are Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. So Nan, what are your picks?
This is a really tough one, and I think it's quite competitive as well. All of those films are fantastic. What I think will win is Poor Things. Just the detailing in that film is like fantastic. I mean, you know, the way that windows are shaped in a certain building and what that building represents is just, it's just so smart that you wouldn't think of, but like when you get told it, you're just like, holy shit, that's so good. What could win for me would be Barbie. I mean, it ran the world out of pink paint. I mean, what more do you want? Everything in Barbie Land looked like, you know, Barbie Land, or look, everything Barbie. Unfortunately, I think the part where it would drop a bit for me in that film would be when they go into the real world, just because it looks so, you know, generic. But everything in Barbie Land is fantastic. And what I think should win is Poor Things.
Yeah, no, good picks. I'm gonna be the exact same here with this one. Yeah, and what will win? I don't know. It's gonna be closer. It could be anyone's at this point. Both have such compelling cases, and so this will win and could win. They're just so close. Poor Things and Barbie. I think Poor Things will take the win at the end of the day. It might be its only win, depending on what the Best Actress category gives us. So I think Poor Things needs to, or is going to win an Oscar, just because it's been nominated for 11 things. And it's really kind of split this award season right down the middle when it comes to production design with Barbie. And just the lack of Barbie in these Oscar nominations, I think it doesn't play too well into its favor. So I think Poor Things for the win. Barbie, I think, is fantastic. But you are right. And so when it comes to my should win, I would go Poor Things. It's just, with Barbie, when they go into the real world, everything around the characters becomes kind of boring and dull and no longer interesting. But Poor Things just keeps it interesting throughout the entirety of that movie, at least from the art direction at least. So, completely in agreement with you on that one. All right, Best Visual Effects. Quite a controversial category, this one. So the nominees are The Creator, Godzilla -1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, and Napoleon. So Nan, what will win, what could win, and what should win?
What I think will win, and just based on the stats that we were given before and just the general hype for this film since it released, is Godzilla -1. I think the fact...
Are you going that will win?
I think that will win. I think, the fact that the rumored budget is $15 million and it looked like a $100 million movie is insane. The director has come out and said that's not true, but then again, can you really trust what a director says nowadays?
Yes.
So I think that is my will win. What should win? no, what could win for me would be The Creator. That film is fantastic. You know, the blending of the AI and the human elements on the faces is so good, and even that massive ass ship that drops a beam was fantastic as well.
Yeah.
But what I think should win is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Yes, it's...
Oh, shit. I thought you were a creator boy.
I was a creator boy, but then I really took a long, hard think about it, and it's really even. It's like this for me, you know? See?
Yeah. Right up there.
Either one could win. But I just think the detailing of the animals, you know, not just Rocket Raccoon, but the otters, the walruses, and the bunnies, is fantastic, along with the general visual effects as well. I think, Guardians of the Galaxies definitely should get them up for this.
Damn, I didn't think you were going to do that for your should win. You've been a creator supporter, switching at the last minute there. Oh, okay, what will win? Oh, I mean, I'll just say it straight up front. Godzilla Minus One doesn't deserve to win at all. Like, everyone loves the visual effects because of that rumored budget.
Yeah.
If the visual effects were, or if the movie was budgeted, say, 150 million, people would be like, oh, yeah, it had decent visual effects. It would not be a top contender in this category. I am going to stick to my guns on that, and I'm going to think the creator is going to win just because of what they did on that movie. The lower budget than you would expect for a movie that looked like that. I think, what was it, like 100 million or...
Yeah.
Between 100 and 150, yeah. And it was shot on like this, not, you know, a commercial grade camera or something along those lines. So I think they did an astounding job VFX wise with the creator. I think the Academy will recognize that, and I think they'll reward that. And yeah, I don't see the Godzilla Minus One winning. And I'll double down on that. In terms of my could win, it is not Godzilla Minus One. It is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I'm not putting Godzilla Minus One on here. I love the movie, and the visual effects are fantastic. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I don't know. They're not too kind to Marvel when it comes to VFX, but Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is... I think it could win. I think just because it's such a weak year, and that movie was, you know, absolutely fantastic on all fronts with VFX, and that's why it's my should win as well. I love Guardians of the Galaxy 3 in terms of the visual effects. I think I would say, yeah, it's the best one of the last year. But like you as well, it's neck and neck with the creator in terms of that, the quality of the visual effects. But yeah, just really good stuff. It's going to be a really interesting category. Man, if Godzilla Minus One wins, I'm gonna freak out live on our stream. All right, best sound. So the nominees for this one are The Creator, Maestro, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, Oppenheimer, and The Zone of Interest. So Nayan, what will win, what could win, and what should win?
This is a tough one. This is also a one where pretty much the top three could win, and the top three right now is Oppie, Interest, and Maestro. But I think will win though is Oppenheimer. I just think the sound of it is fantastic. You know, the whole like little cuts to the, I assume it's atoms, you know, to the bomb dropping off, and stuff like that is great.
Yeah.
What I think could win would be The Zone of Interest. The sound in that is so minimal, but it's so impactful. It's really hard to describe in words. Like, anyone that sees it knows what I mean and what I'm trying to come from. There's like barely any score or sound in that, but just the things that they do, you know, such as picking a can and putting it down, just, it's loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I think should win, I'm going to go Zone of Interest. I think that should win.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that should win. Based on the reasonings.
I like that.
Reasonings I said before, you know, it's just so subtle and it doesn't take away from the experience of watching the film. You know, it accompanies what's happening on screen. As with Oppenheimer, you know, you got the bomb dropping. Yes, it might be in silence for when you visually see it and then you hear it. But that hearing, you know, is overbearing and stuff like that. It's still fantastic. I'm not knocking it for sure, but yeah, I'm gonna go Zone. I'm gonna go Zone.
Zone. Interesting, man. Man, dropping all these bombs on me right now. Very interesting. All right. For me, what will win? Yes, I think it is. I think it is Oppenheimer. No, I'm not going to say it's better than either one at this stage, but yeah, I think it is going to win, and I think it's part of the sweep. But yeah, I mean the sound editing in that, I think it's just incredible, and they just really build a soundscape in a film that doesn't quite demand that level of like care towards the sound of that film. So I think it just does a really good job, even outside of just the bomb dropping. Really good stuff there. What could win is the zone of interest for sure. I think that is, you perfectly described it there. It's very minimal, but it's so impactful when you hear it. I remember when I was watching it, my partner was like, "Oh my god, the sound is just really good here, like for this movie," and like. Since she said that, I immediately knew good sound. But in terms of what should win, it's got to be Oppenheimer for me. These ones all provide something interesting, but I think Oppenheimer is the more well-rounded one here out of all of them. Just gives us a little bit of everything, while Maestro's more in terms of sound mixing is where it really thrives. But yeah, everything else, I think Oppenheimer is the one that kind of thrives. All right, moving on now to Best Hair and Makeup. So, the nominees are Golda, my voice cracked there. Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and Society of the Snow. So, Nan, what will win, what could win, and what should win?
Will and should would be Maestro. The makeup and hair styling that is just fantastic. You know, the prosthetics they did on Bradley Cooper is awesome. You know, like you see 3 generations worth of Leonard Bernstein all through makeup and prosthetics. You know, it's fantastic. I really hope it does win it, and I really hope it doesn't get snubbed, because this film definitely, if it's going to win an Oscar, it has to be this. Like
that's the only thing it should win.
This is it's a good movie, but this is its strongest suit of the movie. In my opinion. So I said that so you guys can come at me in the comments if you like and subscribe. What I think could win, probably Poor Things. I think the makeup and hairstyling is great in that. The way that Emma Stone's character, how we see her at the start and the end, she matures as a character, but also visually. You can see that maturity. Then you also have the prosthetics on Willem Dafoe's character, which is just you could barely tell that it looked like Willem Dafoe, you know.
So good.
Yeah, those are my 2 picks.
Yeah, interesting. I'm gonna shake things up a little bit here. All right, so what will win for me? I'm gonna lock in Poor Things as well. I think it's got this. Maestro, to me, it's just radio silence in terms of what it's winning in this category and other award ceremonies. So I'm going to give the nod to Poor Things here. I just think Poor Things has so much momentum behind it, just, you know, other categories and, you know, just overall buzz in general. So I am going to give this one to Poor Things to get the win here. Maestro is my could win. And everyone's really against Maestro. Everyone really hates Maestro right now. I don't know why. But I can kind of understand it. It just feels very Oscar baity.
Oh, definitely.
And yeah, everyone keeps criticizing Bradley Cooper for winning an Oscar so bad, and you can kind of see it. But it's a different story for a different day. But yeah, like he had a complete transformation. My only concern on why it won't win is because that he's not much of the movie is him in those prosthetics. It's really only kind of coming out to the end of the film and a little bit sprinkled in. Otherwise, yeah, Poor Things, I think it's just a consistent thing of where makeup and hairstyling actually flows through character development. And I think that's way more crucial to a movie than, you know, having, you know, 17 hours of prosthetics being applied to you every morning or whatever. And then what should win? I'm going to go Oppenheimer.
Oy.
I'm going to go Oppenheimer. What should win? I think everyone underrates it, or at least no one talks about it. I think it's much more subtle. It's, you know, there's no like deformed face attachment, or Cillian Murphy doesn't look like he's 1,000 years old. But the way they do makeup to the entire core cast, it's really subtle. But you see them age throughout those things. You know, Cillian's a lot younger at the start. You see him really progress, and I think it's just it's subtle, but it's so effective because you buy into it so much and it's so believable. It's nothing really like extra, and I kind of just appreciate that because it just allowed me to really flow with the time era of that movie. I just knew, you know, quite subtly that it was like way in the future and all that stuff. So that's honestly my pick. Poor Things a close second there, and then, you know, obviously Maestro would be somewhere around as well. All right, best costume design. So the nominees for this one are Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. So Nan, what will win, what could win, and what should win?
This is one of those categories where it's just, you know, just throw a dart and anyone is deserving of the Oscar, really.
Pretty much, yeah.
What I think will win is Poor Things. I think the costume design is that, you know, the whole steampunk sort of look set in like what, 1800s, 1600s, is fantastic in that. What could win? I am tossing up between a lot of movies right here. I'm gonna go Killers of the Flower Moon.
Ooh, hot take, I feel.
It is, and that's why I picked it. I mean, I was tossing up between that and Barbie, but Barbie only works in Barbie Land, really, if you think about it. Otherwise,
For costume design?
For costume design, yeah. That's where the creative stuff happened. Creative costuming is, you know, with the Barbies and the Kens. And then when they translate into the real world, it's just pink gear. That's about it.
Pink.
But with Killers of the Flower Moon, I think the costuming is quite underrated in this. You know, it captures that sort of native aspect of the Native Americans so well. Just in terms of, you know, the feathers and just the way that the patterns are on their shirts and pants and shoes and everything about that. So that would be my could win. And what should win is Poor Things for the reasons that I said in Will.
Yeah. Fair enough. This is a tough category for me. It's Barbie and Poor Things really battling it out for another one here. I'm gonna say what will win, and I'm gonna say that it is Barbie. I think Barbie has the edge on this one, just based on what I've been seeing throughout this award season, and I think Barbie needs a win in the Oscars, and it has to win somewhere. And I think this is where it's gonna get its. I think it's gonna get its one and only win right here in costume design.
Song.
It's set. Pardon? Oh yes, of course, song as well. Yeah. Okay, so 2 wins there. So yeah, this one and that. Poor Things, I think it could win, and it has a very strong chance of. I don't think it's a dark horse or an upset, but it's the, you know, the back, what do you call it? The next in line for this, and then what should win for this one? This one's a tough one. I think they're all really strong. Oppenheimer.
Well, should win is our personal opinion on what we think should win. So you can say whatever movie you want should win, because it's your own opinion.
No. I'm not going to lock that in just because it's a lot of suits. We'll say that. I might say should win. Sorry, I'm taking a while. I would say Killers of the Flower Moon. I keep tossing up between Killers of the Flower Moon and Poor Things, but Killers of the Flower Moon just has so much, you know, historical accuracy and detail to these characters, and I think it just captures the era of its time. It captures the culture and, you know, the richness of history behind it far more than some of these other movies. Looking at you, Napoleon. So yeah, Killers of the Flower Moon would be my pick. But yeah, I think this is between Barbie and Poor Things. I don't have much doubt about that. All right, we're going to move on to Best Editing now. And so the nominees for Best Editing are Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. So, Nan, will win, could win, should win.
This is like even tougher than the previous category. Because like any one of these films, these 5 films, deserves it. Like, I wouldn't be mad if anyone won. But what would, or what I think will win is... Pardon?
No, I was just going to say, ask what's going to win.
What will win is probably Oppenheimer. I think the way that it balances, you know, in that terms, the past, present, and future of that period was so fantastic. You know, it cut between all 3 time periods so seamlessly, and it just worked into a fantastic film. What could win is Killers of the Flower Moon. Made a 3-hour plus movie feel like a 2-hour plus movie, and that is very, very rare these days. And it was just fantastically edited, mainly because of that reason. Just like every scene,
like good pacing.
Every scene had its purpose, and every scene held its length and time for that scene perfectly. Like it wasn't overbearing or anything like that. What should win? I'm gonna go Anatomy of a Fall here. I think that should.
Oh,
I think that
spicy man today.
I think that should win. I think that film is ridiculously and fantastically edited, and it should get a lot more recognition for it.
Yep.
I mean, you know, it took this present time of the murder, and then it seamlessly went in between the future of the court cases and then went back. We had scenes where the main character, Sandra Huller's character, I forgot her name, but she had like a little flashback to an argument with the husband, but the flashback was triggered by something that she saw or did, and it was just nicely edited. The only downfall about the film was it probably should have ended probably about 5-10 minutes earlier than it should, but even then anything after that was still fantastic. So that's my dark. That's my one. Should win.
That's the one that should win. Yeah, fair call. I am going to go. Yeah, will win. I think Oppenheimer will win. I think it's pretty clear in terms of the precursors this year. Oppenheimer kind of dominated in terms of, you know, editing, and I think it really does. It is deserving of that. Just you pretty much covered it in what you were saying before. Just merging all those kind of timelines together and making it all make sense to everyone who watched it. I think it's just really well done. It's balanced well. The pacing's good. 3 hours doesn't feel like 3 hours, and it made, you know, talking for pretty much 3 hours straight enjoyable. I think keeping people hooked that long with just dialogue, I think is a really hard thing to do. And Jennifer Lame, who edited the film, did a really good job. What could win? I think it's Anatomy of a Fall, and what should win? Anatomy of a Fall as well. I'm so glad you said Anatomy of a Fall should win. Like, you know, I love Op here, of course, but Anatomy of a Fall in terms of editing, I think it was fantastic. I remember watching it, and you know, you're watching these court case like drama movies a lot of the time, and you stick with the judgment, and then you're like, okay, yep, I think they did it, and then you see whether they did or not. But with Anatomy of a Fall, man, the editing's just so good because, you know, it would play like the first scene. I'm like, oh, okay, yep, so she did it. And then it would carry on, and it's like, wait, no. And then it's like, wait, no, she might have. And then you're constantly guessing. And it edits it in a way that's just so good. And it's the editing with that movie just seamlessly like complements the screenplay for it. They're both so intrinsically like combined. It's just like a perfect complement. So I think Anatomy of a Fall definitely deserves it. Even though I wouldn't be mad if Oppenheimer won it. So, yeah, that's my pick. All right. Get on to some big boys now. Best cinematography. So the nominees we have are El Conde, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. So Nan, will win, could win, should win. What do you got?
What will win would be Oppenheimer. I think it's just been dominating pretty much all the precursors. It's been taking up majority of the big awards as well. So I think it's close to a lock as you'll get for this category. It's Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
What I think could win would probably be Poor Things. Just the cinematography in that is fantastic. You know, not only is it accompanied by like steampunk sort of visuals, but the cinematography in it is like pastel sort of stuff. It looks like someone just drew on crayon in the background and then just filmed on that and just worked. You're not a big fan of this, but I was the whole fishbowl lens shot.
It's just overdone, man.
It was, and
I'm telling you.
It was, but it's a shot that we don't see that often nowadays, and I think that is why I am so drawn to it, is because I can't even remember the last film that had that sort of...
Just go to Yorgos Lanthimos' last movie and it'll be there.
Yeah, so it's a unique style with this director, you know, similar to how, you know, you got lens flares with J.J. Abrams and, you know, stuff like that.
Overdone, I'm telling you.
What I think should win, though, is Poor Things. Exclude the fishbowl thing for my comments for that for James, but I think everything else just looks absolutely fantastic. You know, just the colouring, the lighting in that film, and just the visual and the cinematography sort of balance is great.
Yeah, no, for sure. I can't critique you on that. The Poor Things cinematography is just, it's outstanding all the way. In terms of my picks, will win, it's Oppenheimer. Like, it's just been dominated in precursors, all the weird award ceremonies coming prior to the Oscars. It's in favor of Oppenheimer, so I think Oscars is just going to translate straight to that. In terms of what could win, yeah, Poor Things as well. I think it is the dark horse, the cheeky upset to really disrupt Oppenheimer, although I don't think it stands much of a chance, but hey, it could win, hence why we're naming it that. In terms of what should win, I honestly think Killers of the Flower Moon. It's just such a, like, you can just watch, you're just watching it and you know it's from a really polished director, and it's so well done, but it's not as flashy as Poor Things in terms of, you know, the color or lighting, and is it as, you know, kind of grandiose or on a scale of Oppenheimer, but it's just really well done. It draws you into the atmosphere of the movie that's not as large as those movies or unique as those movies, and it's just, I think it's just so absorbing, and it's, you know, consistent in, you know, some of the highest quality for 3.5 hours. I think that's a really hard task to do. Killers of the Flower Moon gets my vote in terms of what should win, but I just want to flag something real quick, man. Is Killers of the Flower Moon gonna go home empty-handed?
I think so.
What can it win?
I don't think it can win anything. I think it's just been such a stacked year. The fact that Leonardo DiCaprio didn't even get nominated for Best Actor is clearly, you know, it tells its story.
But does that feel wrong that it gets nothing?
Does it feel wrong?
Like, it's a Martin Scorsese movie, man. The guy's 80-something years old. You gotta give him something.
Yeah, but there are better movies. At the end of the day, the Oscars are and should be the best films of the year, which is 2023. And the fact that it's just been so competitive this year, there are other films that are better in it, and the comedy in the categories that it's been nominated for. So, yeah. And
that's kind of true. I would only disagree with cinematography. I think it stands on top for that category. But yeah, it's a close second for a lot of these categories for me, at least. It's just an unlucky year, I think, for like wrong timing.
He should have delayed it and released it this year, because that would be the big boy this year.
Or last year, could have taken on everything, everywhere, all at once. Yeah. All right, we'll move on now to Best Documentary Feature. and the Michael J. Fox one is not on here, even though that dominated Precursors. It won everything. I don't know if it was ineligible or not, but it just wasn't nominated for some reason. But anyway, the nominees for this one are Bobby Wine, The People's President, The Eternal Memory, Four Daughters, To Kill a Tiger, and 20 Days in Maripol. So Nan will win, could win, should win.
What will win is 20 Days in Maripol. I think you said it how the Michael J. Fox documentary was dominating. 20 Days in Maripol was pretty much the runner-up in all those Precursors.
Pretty much, yep.
So, sorry, because it wasn't nominated, Michael J. Fox automatically goes to 20 Days. And that is obviously going to be the should win as well. What could win, I haven't seen anything else, so but I'm just going to go Four Daughters.
Yeah. So what one should win? Did you say?
20 Days.
20 Days? 20 Days, right. Okay, cool. And then Four Daughters could win, is what you're thinking?
Yeah. Just based on not what I've... Because I haven't seen it, but just based on what I've heard.
Yeah. It was a really interesting nomination selection because there was other stuff like Beyond Utopia. I would have given some consideration to, and Kokomo City I heard good stuff about as well. And American Symphony was another one tracking very high, which actually got nominated for Best Original Song, but it's not in the documentary feature area. So it's a weird category now, but it does open up everything for 20 Days of Maripol to take the win. Easy win for this one, honestly. And yeah, I think Four Daughters is that runner-up person, or not person, but runner-up film to actually kind of sneak in there if it gets a chance. But yeah, I think 20 Days of Maripol has kind of locked this up now because of those other movies I mentioned are not in the running. In terms of what should win, 20 Days of Maripol, it's the only one I've seen from this, and I think so it's obviously the one I think should win. But yeah, the Michael J. Fox one, I'm sad that didn't get nominated. There's actually a couple of good documentaries this year, so shout out to that category.
For sure.
All right. We are going to move on now to Best Animated Feature. So, the nominees for this one are The Boy and the Heron, Elemental, Nimona, Robot Dreams, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. They actually got nominated for this one, but not the score, which I'm still so salty about. But anyway, Nan, who will win, what should win, and what could win? I got the order wrong there, but yeah.
This is also another tough category, and not because every single film is deserving. No, it's because there's only two films fighting out, and that is Across the Spider-Verse and The Boy and the Heron.
Yeah.
What I think will win is Across the Spider-Verse. I think it didn't dominate all of the Precursors, but you know it had the lead at the end of that, and could win is going to be The Boy and the Heron, obviously, and what I think should win is a tough one. It's a really tough one.
On who should win?
Who should win? Because I forgot the director's name for Boy and Heron.
Hayao Miyazaki or something like that.
Never won an Oscar, but every single film that he has directed has been fantastic, and this is quite possibly his last chance to win one, so he could just get given that. But Across the Spider...
Has he not won before?
I'm actually not sure. I'm pretty sure he hasn't. I think if it was going to be one, it would be Spirited Away. But
for sure, that movie's...
But I'm not sure.
Movie's good.
We'll look into my comment after that.
Oh no, he has won one Oscar.
Oh, he has?
He has won one.
Okay, so this could be his last chance to win another Oscar then, so to speak. Yep. But then Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, it is a fantastic film. It set up the third one and picked up off the first one so nicely and seamlessly. That last like half an hour, 45 minutes, we were talking to each other when we walked out of that movie, that we were just sweating of how intense and how gripping it was. So that will be my should win, is Spider-Verse.
Should win. All right. This one's tough, even for my should one as well.
It's
like
so tough, eh?
it is tough, yeah. All right, what will win? I'm gonna go Boy and the Heron. I feel like that's more suited to the Academy, and because Into the Spider-Verse won, so Academy members who voted in this category are familiar with that style. So in terms of animation, the animation itself, it's not going to be like, whoa, this is crazy and unique and new, even though it did bring some new stuff to the game, of course. But it's not going to be as shocking to them, and it continues the story, and it ends on a cliffhanger. I don't know how that's going to, go with Academy voters in terms of an entire film. So I think The Boy and the Heron takes it. And, we saw it win the Golden Globe. We saw it win the BAFTA. I think it stands a really strong chance here. But, yeah, your dark horse candidate is... I'm gonna be a little bit spicy in this category.
Nimona? I knew it.
Nimona is my could win. Obviously, I don't think it's like the runner-up or second in line kind of thing. But I do think that, if we are looking for a dark horse upset, I think Nimona could be the one to really shock everybody. Like if we're watching the live stream of it and Nimona wins, I think it would be very shocking. In terms of what should win, oh boy, that's hard. I mean, there's part of me that wants to say Elemental just because that shocked me, really deeply, because I had heard it was so bad and it was so good. But I think me and you, our experience of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, next level. There's something special about watching that film and the feeling you get while watching it. So that would be my should win, despite it being ending a cliffhanger. So yeah, all right. We're going to move on to the international side of things now. So Best International Feature. The nominees are Io Capitano by Italy, Perfect Days by Japan, Society of the Snow by Spain, The Teacher's Lounge by Germany, The Zone of Interest from the United Kingdom. And, we know this category. I've spoken about it constantly. People who don't really know how Oscars work they've been complaining about this category because Anatomy of Fall isn't there, Godzilla Minus One isn't there, Boy and the Heron, la-di-da. Countries can only submit one movie to be considered. France submitted The Taste of Things, and they also did Anatomy of a Fall. So France screwed this up by choosing a movie that was Anatomy of a Fall. Japan chose Perfect Days, not Godzilla Minus One or The Boy and the Heron. So that's why they're missing, and that's just how it works. So it's a stupid system. Me and Nayan have commented on it before, but that's why they aren't nominated. But Nayan will win, could win, should win. What are your picks?
Will is Zone of Interest. It was the clear second runner-up to Anatomy of a Fall. And if you see that movie, anyone, it is actually fantastic, and it is the best film by far out of this whole list. What could win is probably Society of the Snow. I think they could potentially upset Zone of Interest, but I doubt it. And what should win is Anatomy of a Fall. Should have won it, should have been nominated, but it's not.
But it hasn't been nominated. It's cheating.
But it's not. So the should win is going to default to the Zone of Interest. But I'm just hammering that point towards the Frenchies that they stuffed up.
That they messed up big time. Mine might be mine are the exact same as yours. Zone of Interest, it got nominated for Best Pictures and Best Director's been nominated for. It's clearly going to win this category. There's no doubt about that. If someone's going to surprise things, Society of the Snow, and what should win, it's a Zone of Interest. It's clear-cut favourite. There's not much debating with this one, unfortunately. It would have been a really great race if they had included the other stuff.
It would have.
Anatomy of a Fall, Boy and the Heron going against live action stuff. I would love to have seen that.
Can I just go on a little bit of a tangent here? Say if Anatomy of a Fall did get nominated and Heron got nominated as well, Take out any two of your choice. Would your could, would, should still be the same? Oh, or how would your could, would, should be?
What would win is Anatomy of a Fall. What could win, The Boy and the Heron. I think that could be a really interesting pick for that one. And then what should win, I would... Ooh, it's tough between all three, actually. I'd probably stay with Anatomy of a Fall. That movie's just really grown on me so much since I saw it. So yeah, those would be my three picks. What about you?
The same, except my could would be Zone of Interest.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's a more safer pick than mine. But I would just love to see Boy and the Heron get some kind of win. Okay, so Best Adapted Screenplay. We get into the major categories now. So Best Adapted Screenplay, we have Cord Jefferson for American Fiction, Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach for Barbie, Tony McNamara for Poor Things, Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, and Jonathan Glazer for The Zone of Interest. So Nayan, will win, could win, should win. What are your picks?
I think what will win is American Fiction. I think that was a fantastically written film. It's been getting some good buzz in previous in the precursors and previous awards. What could win is Oppenheimer. Yeah, that was just a fantastic script. You know, the fact that it was a 3-hour long biopic on a guy trying to make a bomb, and then the bomb dropping, and then still having like an hour and a half of just pure dialogue after that, and still be so gripping is just fantastic. So yeah, it's just unbelievable how Christopher Nolan was able to do that, and the writers as well. So that's a easy could win. And what should win for me is Oppenheimer, for the reasons I just said.
No, yeah, fair enough. This category, it had a major shake-up with Barbie being refused as an original screenplay by the Academy.
And I think that's correct.
Yeah, 100%. We've covered that. Barbie is clearly an adapted screenplay. So yeah, in terms of what I think will win, I'm with you on that one. I think it's American Fiction. I've tossed and I've turned. I've had sleepless nights about who will win this category. This might be the most this might be the most competitive category, I want to say. It's up there with one of the most for sure. But I don't know who to pick between them. But I'm going to lock in American Fiction, and I'm giving it the tiniest of edges for this one because the film is about writing, and I think that alone, I think, will just persuade some of those extra voters to lean towards that, alongside the fact that it's very thematically driven and the characters are really well done. I think it's an excellently written film. Oppenheimer stands a good chance. That's my could win. I'm gonna lock that as my could. That's my could win, and that is because if the Academy love Oppenheimer this much, it's going to go for the full sweep here. Adapted screenplay is, a major category. So Oppenheimer has a really strong chance to sweep in a couple nights and get at least 7-8 categories. I think it might be the night. And my mind might change when we see Oppenheimer kind of winning categories that we didn't think. But yeah, that's my good one. It stands a good chance, but I don't think it's as good as American Fiction, and that's why American Fiction is my should win, because the movie's, it's a screenplay-driven film. The beauty of that movie and the complexity is all in the writing. And obviously, I think the performances by Jeffrey Wright as well, really, really good stuff, but that's what makes that movie as good as it is. Without the screenplay, it's not an Oscar nominee at all. I think it's the strongest feature and it should win. So, yeah. Tough luck for Barbie missing out on that category, though, because it would have stood more of a chance in the original screenplay, which is the category we are going to cover now. So, for Best Original Screenplay, the nominees were Justine Triet and Arthur Harari for Anatomy of a Fall, David Hemmingson for The Holdovers, Bradley Cooper and Josh Singer for Maestro, Sammy Birch for May December, and Celine Song for Past Lives, in what seems to be the most stacked category of all time. Nayan, who is will win, could win, and should win for you?
What will win for me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, this is a tough one. God damn.
It's hard.
Okay, what I think will win is going to be Holdovers. That is a fantastically written film. You know, it was based on majority of it dialogue, and just the banter between Giamatti's character and Cessa's character is just enough alone to get that nod. What could win?
Yeah.
Is Anatomy of a Fall. But then also think Past Lives could possibly sneak in there, but very low.
That would be interesting.
It would be. Because those are the three out of the ones you said. Oh, but then there's May December as well. God damn. No, okay, yeah. Could win is Anatomy of a Fall. It's a, you know, it's an amazing film, a court case drama that is just suspenseful, that just has you guessing throughout the entire runtime. Yeah, it should have been nominated for international feature for sure. And what I think should win for me personally.
Oh.
I'm looking at May December, and I know I didn't enjoy the film, but I can appreciate the film.
The writing.
What I think should win. Yeah, I'm gonna go May December for this one.
You're gonna go May December.
That's what I think.
And man, you're spicy today. What the hell? I would never predict that. I thought you were gonna go Holdovers or something.
I was looking at that, but then my eye caught May December, and I just thought about the writing, and mainly just that dialogue of Natalie Portman, in front of the mirror. You know, like the most people will take away from that scene is the acting, but if you actually just put your hand over your eyes and just listen, you know, like the dialogue is so impactful and amazing. So yeah, I didn't like the film. I'm going to say that right now. I did not like May December, but I do appreciate that it is a good film, and that would be my should win.
Ugh. I'm glad you said that. In terms of what will win for me, Anatomy of a Fall, we saw the Holdovers kind of dominate in this category, but then out of nowhere, Anatomy of a Fall just started to get those major award ceremony wins from, you know, I forgot the exact ones, but it just started to really get the momentum kind of out of nowhere, and I think that will take the win at the end of the day. But then, you know, the Holdovers is still that close second, that kind of dark horse, even though I think it's safe to say Anatomy of a Fall now. But the Holdovers, I think, really strong candidate to get the upset here, so I think that could win as well. In terms of what should win, thank God Nayan said it for me. May, December. My God, bro. Why does the Academy hate this movie? Bro, Charles Melton, not nominated. Julianne Moore, not nominated. America Ferrera was nominated, but not Julianne Moore.
It is...
Annette Bening for Best Actress, no Natalie Portman. I don't understand what the hell they saw, or even if they watched the movie. But May, December, man. It's fantastic. I don't mind it not being nominated for Best Picture or Best Director, but those acting, the acting's just so good in the movie, and the screenplay. Those elements are the best things. But yeah, these movies, except for Maestro, funnily enough, are all fantastic on a screenplay level. I don't even know why Maestro is nominated, if I'm being completely honest. I thought screenplay the worst attributes of that film, just because it was so unfocused in terms of what it wanted to say and what it was kind of covering of Leonard Bernstein's life. But yeah, May December would be my should win, but I mean, like all of those other ones there, except for Maestro again, are just so close. They're all so good. But yeah, my little heated rant about May December not being included is over.
It's nice to see that you guys heard it publicly now, because I've been hearing it privately for so goddamn long.
yeah, I've been freaking out in front of Nan, so now everyone gets to know my absolute anger towards this. All right, we have to move on now. So, Best Supporting Actor. The nominees are Sterling K. Brown in American Fiction, Robert De Niro in Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling in Barbie, and Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things. Nayan, will win, could win, should win. What are your picks?
Will and should is Robert Downey Jr. Career turn right here. He is stepping away from the stereotypical, Iron Man portrayal, and he is now going to the next chapter of his acting career, which is more serious sort of roles. What a fantastic way to take that first step in a Christopher Nolan film. What a fantastic way to take that first step in pretty much the front runner, like bet your house on this, that he's going to win. Because he's going to get an Oscar come Monday and Sunday for you guys up north. So that is my will and should. What could win for me? I don't think it's Ryan Gosling. I'm saying that now. I think it's Mark Ruffalo. I think he was...
Man, so against.
I think he was stupidly fantastic in that. Like, if it wasn't Emma Stone taking the spotlight, it's Mark Ruffalo. He was just great. The way his character transformed, similar to Emma Stone's, except completely different. Mark Ruffalo's character started here, and by the time the film ended, he was down here. And just the way that progression happened was awesome to see. And Mark Ruffalo just encaptured that character so well.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to think about my should win, but we'll start off with the very obvious, as Nan covered. Bet your house on it. Robert Downey Jr. is going to win his Oscar. In terms of, the second act of a career, Robert Downey Jr., he moves from the most successful franchise in film history to winning an Oscar straight off the bat. If you've forgotten about Dr. Dolittle, just don't remember it, even though I just did remind you. We're all forgetting about that movie, including him. But yeah, the greatest second act of a career. I will continue to say that. And yeah, I think he's going to win. I'd probably not bet your house on it, actually. There's other stronger categories out there that are more locks, in my opinion. But yeah, he's going to win. In terms of who could win, it's Ryan Gosling, dude. You have to come to that conclusion. You may not agree with it, but I think Ryan Gosling, I think he might just have the... I don't know. It would be just a cheeky upset, and I'd just love to see. It'd just be hilarious.
It would be memed to days.
100%. His face, his reaction, all that stuff. But yeah, no, I think he is going to be he would be the clear upset if it were to happen. But I don't think it is. I just don't think the odds are in his favor for this one. In terms of what should win, I don't even know why Sterling K. Brown's even nominated. He's in the movie for maybe 5 minutes. There is clearly a lot better supporting actor performances out there. That's a really bizarre one. See, my heart wants to say Robert Downey Jr., but my head wants to say Mark Ruffalo.
What?
But you know what they say, follow your heart. Robert Downey Jr., man. You gave me 10 years of good stuff as Iron Man. I'm happy to see you go. No, don't point to your head.
You follow your logic.
Not for the Oscars. You follow your heart for the Oscars.
This isn't Yu-Gi-Oh!
Hey, this is who I think should win. This is my subjective choice, mate.
That's true.
I'm going Robert Downey Jr. for this one. Who I think should win, it doesn't mean it's the best. I would actually probably say Mark Ruffalo is probably the better one for me, just because his character's so zany and eccentric and weird. I really love what Mark Ruffalo did. It was completely different from him, and we've seen that Louis Strauss character in movies before. I don't think Robert Downey Jr. did anything that we haven't seen from other actors. So I'm just trying to word that carefully, because Mark Ruffalo, I think, does something that's much more unique than what Robert Downey Jr. did. But what Robert Downey Jr. did was, it's like such a contrast, and I'm going to be punny here and say it's a really stark contrast to what he did in the MCU. That was a good pun. You got to give me that. But yeah, we haven't seen that side of Robert Downey Jr. in a long time. And yeah, I think he absolutely nails it. So he's my should win. But if Mark Ruffalo wins, I'm happy. If Ryan Gosling wins, I'm happy for a weird reason. And the other two, Robert De Niro and Sterling K. Brown, they're just cheerleaders at this point. All right, best supporting actress. Do we need to go on to this one, Nan?
We have to.
We know who wins. This one is the most locked category of all time. But anyway, we're going to go through it. So the nominees are Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple, America Ferrera for Barbie, Jodie Foster for Nyad, and Davine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. So Nan will win, could win, and should win. What are your picks?
What will win is Davine Joy Randolph. Bet your house, bet your kids, bet your cars, spoon, knives, forks, whatever has dollar value, put it all on this, you'd win.
Well, the odds wouldn't be very much in their favour now, right?
That's why I said just bet everything you have and you might get, a couple bucks out of it.
But if people had listened to us on, Spotify or wherever people get their podcast from months ago, they would have made a real profit from what's going to happen on Monday.
Oh, 100%.
They would have made good money.
100%. Definitely. They might be able to buy a house if they did listen to us back then. I wish I did, because I might...
You're listening to us now, yeah.
Yeah.
They should have been listening, but next year.
But Davine Joy Randolph has dominated everything. Precursors, major film awards. She is just guaranteed to win it. There is no could in this situation, because she is the could and she is the will. The only should is what I think should win is Danielle Brooks, because I think she gave a more better performance and a more complete performance and a more emotional performance than Davine Joy Randolph. Davine Joy Randolph was fantastic, but we only saw little bits and moments, whereas Danielle Brooks, we saw her character, just be so confident to get completely broken down to back that confidence, and the way that she acted that was just fantastic. So I'm a little bit salty because I've always been on the Danielle Brooks bandwagon not even a bandwagon, the wagon, just a wagon for this.
the wagon.
So I'm a little bit salty, and if you listen to our previous podcast, you'll just hear whenever Davine Joy Randolph wins, it's just big sigh coming out of my mouth. So yeah, but Davine Joy Randolph, bet everything you have on that.
Might be a little bit too late now. You're not going to make much now, but you should have listened to us beforehand. But yeah, no. So, okay, let me propose a scenario to you. Any sneaky dark horse, who would it be? Who could be the potential one to come in here and, cause one of the biggest shocks in Oscar history? Who would it be, you think?
I can't say it, but I'm just going to say Danielle Brooks.
Danielle Brooks. Yeah. But yeah, no, as Nan said, this one's one of the clearest locks you'll ever see in terms of an Oscar category. Davine Joy Randolph won basically nearly every precursor and then won all the major awards as well. So, everything points towards her winning, so she is who will win. In terms of, I'm going to skip straight to what should win. I'll come back to the could win. But anyway, what should win? I agree completely with Nan with this one. Just because, I think Danielle Brooks just has a lot more to offer with her performance. I'm not saying Danielle Brooks is better, but she's given a lot more material to work with, and that character has a complete arc and a complete change and all this development. While Davine Joy Randolph's character in Holdovers, she just doesn't have enough to do to really allow me to be fully sold on her winning this category, despite how great she is in her moments. In terms of what could be, what could win? Emily Blunt, Oppenheimer. She's won absolutely nothing. I know it. I see Nan's face right there. But the Oppenheimer sweep is real. It's coming. And I think it skips Best Supporting Actress. But if the sweep is that strong, man, Emily Blunt could 0.001% chance to win this category. I would put my money on her if there had to be a dark horse contender here. just because of the Oppenheimer suite, not because of, you know, what we think is the better or what we've seen in terms of precursors and stuff like that. But that's enough rambling about Best Supporting Actress. We went on far too long for a category that's already basically predetermined. This one gets a little bit interesting though. Best Actor now. So the nominees are Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. So, man, will win, could win, should win. What you got?
What will win is Cillian Murphy. He's been dominating quite a bit of the precursors and pretty much almost everything of the major awards this year as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's as close to a lock, not quite a lock, but as close to a lock as you'll get. Cillian picking that up. What could win is Paul Giamatti. He was fantastic in that. And what I think should win is Paul Giamatti, because he is fantastic in that. The way his character turns from, you know, this aggressive, arrogant, stuck in his way teacher to being a lot more compassionate. And I've said it before in previous podcasts, if that lazy eye of his, if he did that himself, he deserves a world and so much more. That lazy eye should give him this Oscar.
100%. All right, and so what should win?
Giamatti. Sorry, that was my should win.
Oh.
Yeah.
Should win, and could win is Giamatti as well?
Yep.
Okay, yep. Okay, sorry. Yes. No, you're right. That lazy eye, man. If that is real...
We need it confirmed. An interviewer, anyone on the red carpet, this is your task. You ask him that question. We need to know.
We just need to know if he did that himself, because if he did do that lazy eye intentionally and controlled it, I don't know how you would do that. But if he did do that, he deserves Best Actor for the next 10 years. No one stands a chance. Ugh. Otherwise, I will walk up on stage and I'll slap somebody if he doesn't win for that. Okay. Will win. Will win. Yeah, I'm going to say Cillian Murphy as well. I want to say Giamatti, but I think Cillian is not a lock. I think Paul Giamatti can definitely surprise, but Cillian Murphy, I think's got this, and it's because of those the major ones. We saw they split the Golden Globe, Giamatti and Cillian Murphy, based on genre, and then Paul Giamatti got the Critics' Choice. I'm like, okay, Giamatti I think might have the upper hand here, but then Cillian Murphy got the BAFTA, and then he got the SAG, and the SAG kind of concluded it for me like, okay, Cillian Murphy's got this now. I think he has it, but there's always that one or two surprise categories where something very unexpected can come around. It always happens. I think Best Actor might be one of those ones where Paul Giamatti actually surprises here. I think he's a very, very strong could win. I mean, we'll have to see how that goes. Just the performance is something that the Academy really adores. So, yeah. And in terms of should win, yeah, I'm with you with Paul Giamatti. It's just him, just such a, really nuanced and complex portrayal of a really real, grounded character. Yeah, so I'm going to go that, even though I'd be really happy if Cillian Murphy won for it. All right, we're going to move on now. We're going to get into our final three categories now. So this is where things get interesting as well. Best Actress, one of the most stacked categories I think I've ever seen in the Oscars, because this year provided some goodies. Oh, but Natalie Portman wasn't nominated, so it wasn't as good as it could have been. Neither was Margot Robbie. So, hey, look, great stuff going on. All right, the nominees were Annette Bening in Nyad, Lily Gladstone in Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Huller in Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan in Maestro, and Emma Stone in Poor Things. So, Nan, who will win, who should win, and who could win?
Who will win? I am going to say Emma Stone. She is the leading actress. Lily Gladstone's not. She's a supporting.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Emma Stone. She took out the BAFTA and also won the Golden Globes, but that's because they split it.
She got the Critics' Choice as well.
And Critics' Choice, thank you. So yeah, and just I said it in our review. Just head over to Spotify and give that review a listen. But she was fantastic in that. You know, just the way that she progressed her character from start to end was amazing. From immaturity to maturity within the space of 2.5 hours, where nothing felt so forced, is fantastic. So she deserves this Oscar. What could win? Lily Gladstone.
What?
I did want to say Sandra Hüller there, but then just the fact that Lily Gladstone was also picking up those precursors and other awards as well. I would have liked Sandra Hüller to get a bit more recognition, but I think Gladstone would be what could win, and she is fantastic in this film. Don't get me wrong. She's awesome in this. With every scene that she pretty much dominates. That final scene of her is just mesmerizing as well.
Yeah.
Should win Emma Stone. Reasons that I said before. I think she is more of a leading actress than Lily Gladstone in the film. So if Lily Gladstone won, I wouldn't be mad, but I would be low-key mad because it's more of a supporting in my eyes. Other people might have a different view, but for me, Emma Stone is the leading actress for 2023.
Yeah, man. I am completely on board with what you said about Lily Gladstone and her role. She is not a leading actress. Like, when you think about leading actress, it's about, or any lead performance for that matter, it's when that main person puts the entire film on their back. Like, Cillian Murphy or Oppenheimer, it's on their back. Emma Stone, Sandra Hüller, Carey Mulligan. I mean, I don't even know Carey Mulligan's. So it was a complete leading. But, you know, Paul Giamatti, Jeffrey Wright, these are the actors front and center constantly. And I don't know if Lily Gladstone falls under that criteria, but I am like you as well. I would not be mad if she did. I think she put on an astounding performance. I would have loved to have seen her placed in the supporting actress role, because that's where she would... I would really adore for her to be in that category so she could win it, because I think she would absolutely deserve it if she was in that category, but she's not. So in terms of what will win him, I am going to go Lily Gladstone, and it's because of the SAG win. I know Emma Stone started to trend ahead a bit ahead of Lily Gladstone at some point, but that SAG win, I think, it was the nail in the coffin for me. And so when we were talking earlier in our podcast on what Killers of the Flower Moon can win, I think it's this category. I think it might be this category that gets the win. And, you know, I think there's a historical significance to Lily Gladstone winning over Emma Stone. And I think that will play a bit of a weight in this. But in terms of could win, you know, Emma Stone, like, don't like just dismiss her. She's right in this race. And it's been, you know, a 2-horse race for the entire award season so far. I'm really keen to see who actually wins on this. But yeah, I think it's going to be Lily Gladstone. Could win Emma Stone. And then what should win? It's Emma Stone, man. Like, oh, her performance just so good. She's so transformative in it. That growth and development of that character is just so organic. It's basically what you said. All right, we're going on now to the most anticipated category of the 2024 Oscars, and that is Best Director. All right, so the nominees are Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things, Jonathan Glazer for The Zone of Interest, Justine Triet for Anatomy of a Fall, and Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon. So, Nan, will win, could win, should win, and think about your answers carefully, my friend. Think about your answers. Don't disappoint me.
Nolan to get snubbed.
Nah.
Nah. What will and what should is Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer. This is his best movie in his entire filmography, directorography. Yeah, whatever.
Both apply.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, this is his magnum opus, as people were saying online. Just the fact that he made a 3-hour talky film that is color and black and white, just so engaging. Almost hit $1 billion. Mid 90% Rotten Tomatoes. You know, almost one of his best reviewed films. It's just fantastic. He pushed the boundaries of literally pushed the boundaries of IMAX capabilities for this film. So he definitely deserves this. And if any one of his films deserves an Oscar, if it weren't for The Dark Knight, bias on my part, it would be this one. It would be this one for sure. He's pretty much loaded in to go. What could win though is Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things, because God, he could have given Christopher Nolan a run for his money, and I still think he could. I think he could potentially be the dark horse upset that the Oscars love to play on us. So if I had to pick one, it would be him. The others, I can't really see. I know Martin Scorsese's in that mix, but I think those top two that I said is probably the top two directors of 2023.
Yeah, man, bang on the head. I've been saying this entire award season, I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I'm not going to get too excited that Christopher Nolan could finally win his first Oscar. I've been waiting for this for years. It's going to be really cool to see when it happens, because who will win? Christopher Nolan. It's his year, man. Everything, the stars are aligning for him. I think the movie was just everything coming together in the best way in terms of commercial success, box office success, the technical capabilities of the film, the writing, everything just came together that just really worked in his favor, and he's finally going to get the recognition he deserves as a director and to finally win Best Director. So, yeah, he's won everything so far in the precursors. He's trending miles and above everybody else. There's no competition here at this point. He's locked. He's nearly as much of a lock as Davine Joy Randolph, in my opinion. Nearly. Not saying that's the same. Could win. Yeah, I would agree with you on Yorgos Lanthimos, but I don't see a dark horse thing so far. Just watch me double down that Christopher Nolan's going to win and then he won't win. It's going to happen. Yeah, I got a little bit of a feeling now.
So if he doesn't win, it's your fault.
It is my fault. But remember, in the podcast, I said if he won Best Director, I will finish my drink on the spot.
And that will be live.
Yep.
So I hope...
Tune into the live stream.
I hope he has a whole bottle of wine there to scull.
No, I'm specifically not having wine because of that pledge that I made. Because I'm not going to scull wine. But yeah, should win Christopher Nolan. Obvious reasons, just go and check out our review for Oppenheimer and you'll know why. All right, we're getting on to the final and the most major category of the entire night, what the entire award season has been building towards, and that is Best Picture for 2023. So the nominees for this one are Past Lives, The Zone of Interest, Maestro, American Fiction, Killers of the Flower Moon, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Poor Things, and Oppenheimer. So Nayan, who will win, who should win, and who could win?
Who will win is Oppenheimer. It's just been dominating everything. It's like a boulder going down a hill. It's unstoppable at this point.
Yeah.
It's going to win. Yeah, it's a fantastic film. We've talked about it so much for the reasoning why throughout this podcast. What could win? I have to give one answer. Hey.
Huh? Yep, just one.
I'm going to go Holdovers. I think that film is
interesting.
Is underappreciated for what it did. One of the major things that it did is introduce a new actor to the world, and that
Dominic Sessa,
and that actor was so fantastic that he should have been nominated. I'm not saying for an Oscar, but just for any award,
rather than the best upcoming actor, who he seemed to get nominated in that, but nothing in any best supporting actor roles.
Yeah, because because he was a fantastic actor. Like, just his character was fantastic in that. I think all the performances, you know, you got Devine, Giamatti and Sessa, them three alone carried this dialogue-heavy film and made it so entertaining.
Yeah.
You laughed. Some people may have cried. It was just entertaining, just, you know.
That ending, though, bro. That ending. It's sad.
You know, just...
It gets you.
Yeah, just going through all of the growth. Just the main growth between Giamatti's character and Sessa's character. They both... How we saw them at the start and how we saw them at the end were completely different. So it was awesome. And that's going to be my should win. That's what I think should win.
What? Bro, The Holdovers should win Best Picture.
I think so. For those reasons, I think the performances was fantastic, the script was fantastic, and don't get me wrong, I do think Oppenheimer's an awesome, awesome film, but I just think The Holdovers should get that Oscar.
Oh man, they're spicy as hell today. What is going on? All right. I mean, we have our top 10 of 2023 coming soon. I'm very interested to see where The Holdovers stands now with you. Very intriguing.
Plot twist doesn't make
That's going to be up next couple of weeks. Huh?
Plot twist, it doesn't make it.
Oh, don't do that to me. You can't throw me around like that, man. I'm already on a roller coaster. All right. My picks, will win. Oppenheimer. It's dominated everything so far. It's got a ton of buzz behind it. So many categories. It's front running, and so Best Picture is clearly in line for it. It won the PGA. I think it's won everything else in terms of Best Picture as well. What could win? I'm going to say Poor Things. It just had such a substantial amount of nominations as well. It is getting a ton of love. People really do love that movie, but I think it may be a little bit too edgy for the Academy, just for all voters, I'll say, to really get any kind of momentum to get ahead of Oppenheimer. And in terms of what should win, I mean, when I think about Best Picture, there's only one movie a year that can get that. And you have, and at least the way I view it, it has to accomplish kind of everything. And I think that is Oppenheimer. It has to be astounding in every kind of metric of filmmaking. Whatever's the best one that does that, I think that is where you put your vote towards. And I think Oppenheimer does that. The Holdovers, sure, it's the writing's amazing. The acting's amazing and the directing is really well done as well. But the technical side, there's not too much to say about that. Poor Things, I think that's why it's getting a ton of love as well, because the technical side of the filmmaking there is really great. And that's what Oppenheimer has as well. And same can be said with Killers of the Flower Moon. But I think in terms of the Best Picture, well-rounded in terms of all the aspects that are involved with it, Oppenheimer does it. And then you add on the little caveats and the cherries on top, like the $957 million at the box office. It brought people to the cinema, which is a very important thing right now. So yeah, I think it does completely deserve to be it, and it's gonna win. It's gonna win. I'm doubling down on it.
So is that 2 drinks?
I will be in. No. It's just Nolan. I mean, if I can't do 2 drinks. Can't do 2 drinks.
So
yeah, I am
if you think
not ready for
James
disappointment.
should have 2 drinks, just comment and majority rules, and he will do it.
All right. Fine. Only if people do that. But yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. Me and Nayan are going to attempt to live stream. The whole video thing to us is very new, so hopefully we can get that right. If we can, we'll be up live streaming. Regardless, me and Nayan will be on a video call, just watching the Oscars kind of together regardless. So if we can live stream, we will. And if not, then we were going to record something basically straight after Oscars. So on that day, just head to the YouTube channel. There will be something there dropping as soon as possible because we got to get our thoughts out. Yeah, but that is going to do it for us on today's episode of Let's Be Real. We hope you guys enjoyed our discussion as much as we did. Thank you so much for tuning in. Your support and engagement does mean a lot to us. But if you did like hearing from us, then be sure to subscribe to our YouTube. We are new to this, so we're keen for feedback. We're keen to see what you guys want to hear about from us about. And if you're listening to us through Facebook, we appreciate that as well. We do love getting the kind of engagement there too. So consider giving us a rating. And otherwise, you can find us on all the social media platforms. Twitter is probably where we're most active at the moment. TikTok and Instagram as well, so be sure to head off there. And before we head over, do you guys agree with our predictions? I mean, that's probably the most important thing. If not, comment your predictions down below, and then we'll see who is more right out of me, you, and Nan, because I'm keen to see that. I'm usually ahead on these things, so good luck beating me. But comment below, and we'll see on come Monday. As always, you guys can head over to moviegames.com. We do box office, we do physical media, we do all that stuff over there. Otherwise, if you're too lazy to do that, just sign up to our weekly newsletter. Never miss a beat from us. Otherwise, that's us. Thanks again for joining us, everybody. We'll catch you next time. Keep bringing the hype. Peace.
See you later, guys.